my big pleasure to welcome you here is because it's no secret that I am a massive Port Vale fan, so to be here to do our official launch is the biggest pleasure of all. And obviously by the side of me we have Carol, who's the chair of Port Vale Football Club, so a big round of applause for Carol. The community lounge at Burslem has been going for just over a year, so today is the official launch, but it has already been going for so long. And the reason why it is so good to have community lounges in adult social care is because it's bringing the services to the people. So it is very much our place-based services. Golden Valiance, which has taken place this morning, started off with only a few people, and I won't tell you so much about it because I know that you're going to hear a lot more about that as we go along this morning. People might come here and they play bingo and they get together and they have a cup of coffee, and we bring services to people because they might come here and they might just come for a chat, but whilst they're having that chat it might turn out that they might need some support with something. It might be that they're isolated and they're not getting the services where they are, so bringing services to people is really within our vision in adult social care at Stoke-on-Trent College. We've also got partners at Middleport Matters on a Friday, so they might go to Middleport Matters for a food parcel, and it might be that they need that food parcel because they're not getting the right benefits, so we take the services to Middleport Matters and we help to support them to get the right benefits. So it is all about taking services to people, and we're also replicating that across the city. I just want to take this opportunity just to thank a few people. So first of all, local community organisations without whom we wouldn't be here today. They've been integral to the delivery of communities together. Voluntary sector partners who've supported and guided us to deliver our first community lounge and now working with us on Blurton and Bentley areas. North Staffordshire Combined Healthcare and Midlands Partnership Foundation Trust, who embarked on this fantastic journey with us. Private sector partners who've listened to our local needs and worked with us to support local people. Volunteers who've supported with us across all sectors and who are essential to the success of communities together. And our local people who've agreed to tell their stories in order for us to understand the need and develop our services for the future. Thank you all to all of you and for everybody who's here this morning. Over to you, Carol. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. First of all, welcome. Very welcome at Vale Park anytime, but particularly today because it's a really special day. It's been no secret, if you've heard me many times in the press, on the radio, the papers, saying that the reason that Kevin and I, people who don't know, Kevin's my husband today, and the reason that Kevin and I bought Port Vale was because we'd moved our IT company to next door, and we'd become very involved in the community of Burslem and really fallen in love with the community, but we could see what help it needed. And then there was the famous day when I said to Kevin, if we really, really want to help Burslem, we'll go and make Port Vale successful. No idea how. And I said, but if your football club's successful, that positivity permeates out. And to me, football clubs are a wonderful hub, and you know, we're a two-team city, and I'm really pleased to see two from Stoke City here today. Very welcome. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you'll agree, for community there is no competition in the city. We're all together, it's one city, it's one community, and we both bring the help that we can to the community as a whole. It's not a, oh, this is Vale and that is Stoke or anything like that. Wherever we can, we always work together, and I'm really, really pleased about that. So football, and you don't have to be interested at all in football to gain the benefit from being part of its community, and I think that's the other thing that's really, really important. So I set Tom Sherritt's here today, and he's the chair, not the chair, I'm the chair, he's the CEO of the Port Vale Foundation Trust, and I set him the target of 365 days a year. I want the community on site. I'm not an easy person to work for, as you will see. And so every single day we want some community activity on the Vale Park site. And organisations, setups like this is what enables us to do it, because as Ali just said, you know, you come for here and then the services come here and then different things branch off. And then you'll find you really need a dementia group, so then that forms, you need something else, and then that forms. So you have one thing, which this is, and then everything else forms off that. And the success of it, Alice said that there wasn't many, there was 6 or 7 who came to the very first Golden Valiants about a year ago now. Today there was over 100. And anybody setting up things like this, an advice I would give everybody is that when you begin, don't get disheartened that you don't have many to begin with, and it's so easy to. And I am going to embarrass Adam Yates, who's at the back there, because he runs the Hub Foundation, and we went to a church in the Mere. It's all right, Adam, it's that story I'm going to tell. You're all right. Nothing worse than that. So we went to a church in Mere, Broadway. Broadway? Yeah. Broadway Church in Mere. And we were getting for the Hub Foundation in the holidays, and we were getting, he said, it's not working, Carol, we're getting about 7 or 8, and you know, we're geared up for a lot more than that. And we decided not to give up, carry on, get your social media out, identify your influencers, make sure that they know about it, make sure that they're telling their friends, their community. It wasn't that many weeks later that Tom Beecham, who isn't here today but also works at the Hub, and he was ringing the office going, oh my God, they're coming up the street, there's more coming up the street. He was there, shut the gates, we can't shut the gates, you know, just keep coming. And we had over 100, 110, 120 that day. And that's what happens. And that's why we all do what we do. And that's what makes it so important, because after that it flew. And like this, it has flown. And it's flown because of the partnership that we have with the council, with the adult social care, who've been amazing, the partnership we have with Home Instead, with everybody. You know, and Ali's done the thank yous, I'm not going to just repeat the thank yous because there are just so many. I'm so grateful and so proud. And if we get 3 points tomorrow, it will be the perfect one. Because I'm now off to Hartlepool. Living the dream, guys. So thank you all ever so much, and I think we've got some food on and enjoy. So let somebody else speak it now.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm just going to welcome the team who actually grew this. I'm Jill O'Hare, by the way. I'm the Community Development Manager within Adult Social Care and the Implementation Lead for Community-Led Support, now known as Communities Together. And the team now, I'm going to let them tell you their story, because I think it's really important, because this has taken a completely different journey and we've just let it take that journey, because people just, everywhere we go, the communities are very different, and it's about us adapting what we have to those communities. So I'm going to invite yourselves to come up. So, are you ready? Yeah. So, Vic, if you want to come up. Yeah, so Steph, Vic, Sadie, where are you? Yeah, and Rich, are you somewhere? There you are. So these guys are going to tell their story about basically community-led and how it's grown in Burslem. Okay, nicely done again.
So for those that don't know me, my name is Vicky Quinn. I'm the Operations Manager for Middleport Matters Community Trust. Middleport Matters is a not-for-profit organisation which is based grassroots in Middleport, just down the road. And we've been supporting hyper-local residents in Middleport, Longport and Dale Hall since we opened formally in January 2020. And obviously COVID had a bit of a reach on that. But so when Jill approached us, I can't even remember when it was, mid-2020 maybe, we had already got an established community hub, and we were supporting people locally with different things through COVID, for well-being, for food support, essentials, etc. while our hub was actually shut for other things. We were asked, and it was a strange one because we were already working with adult social care, and we had the lovely Rachel Jones, who I don't think is here today, but the lovely Rachel Jones from adult social care was coming into us anyway and working with some of our local residents. But what being part of this partnership has meant for us is that that's grown, and we haven't just got Rachel coming in occasionally. We've got every single Friday a member of adult social care coming in for our tea and toast sessions. we've got people on the end of the phone from Greenfields or Sutherland Centre. We can ring, you know, anybody else in the city, whether it's Stoke-on-Trent Mums, whether it's up here to Port Vale, whether it's anybody else, and say, actually, you know, this is a bit past us, you know, we need specialist support, is this something you can do? And we can bring those services into our hub so that people who are in that area down there, who haven't got transport, who, you know, can't afford public transport to get to Hanley or wherever else it is, can actually access those services in the community where they feel comfortable and they feel confident, etc. So for us, being part of this project has built on relationships. It's allowed all the team to know who to ring, to who to signpost to say, can you come in and do this? Because we've identified that maybe 7 or 8 of our older citizens have come in on a Friday, might need some support with dementia support, or are worried about can they stay in their homes anymore, or are worried about falls and different things. In the last 12 months, Middleport Matters has supported over 1,600 individuals, and that's ST6 residents and people in our hyperlocal area. That's with about 15,000 contacts, because a lot of those are repeat. So we've got some local residents who come in 5 or 6 times a week to see us, just for a cuppa, because they're lonely, because they want us to ring adult social care, or they want help with reading something that they've received, or a bill. And it's building those relationships and being able to bring the services in that works for those. We're massively looking forward to continuing this relationship and doing more, really, because we've seen firsthand our team. There's only 6 of us, and anyone that's ever been to our hub, when we get mentioned, people think it's this huge centre, you know, like a massive local community centre, and we're not. We're just a double-fronted shop on the main street in Middleport with glass front. And what works is we build those relationships, we bring the services in, and then those services also build relationships. People are scared. They'll come in and say, oh, I've been told social care need to come and see me. And I, you know, as a 70s kid, that was quite scary. You know, social care are coming in, and that meant that something was wrong. But what they now see is that that's support and that's positive relationships, and that it helps them to stay safe in their homes and prevent crisis and different things. So for us, I just hope it works across the rest of the city like it's worked in with staff and the locality connectors and everybody. So yeah, thank you very much.
So I'm Rachel. I work with Combined Healthcare Mental Health Trust, and I started the journey at the beginning along with you guys, don't we? I can't believe it's a year though. It's gone so fast. I think the biggest thing for myself is that there's an increase of need regarding mental health and about well-being, and that was quite prevalent very early on, wasn't it, with the work that we were doing in the innovation teams. But I've never been on a programme in all the nearly 30 years of working for the trust where a programme has brought together collaborative working in the way that this has. So it feels truly valuable, and it does what it says basically. I think underline the principles which are around on the tables, all the values of the Communities Together programme, is that we sat there last week at Port Vale, didn't we, in this room, and said, why is it working? What is the magic about this? And I think it was about having that shared vision of wanting to make a difference for people. And for me, it's about being in the right place at the right time, that's accessible, that people are accessing the lounges, that they're coming through the doors, words getting out, and we can reach out to one another. So it doesn't matter whether it's myself in mental health, or Steph in social care, or Sadie, or all of the other partners. We can all reach out to one another within minutes and get that support for that person really quickly, which historically kind of takes us all around the bureaucracy and the long route of getting support, which I'm sure most of us have been in that situation when you're on the phone for 45 minutes in queue number 20. So it's it's about getting that support at the right time for that person, and we've seen that hugely, haven't we? And also it's built up, friendships, partnerships with all different agencies, meeting people, understanding how they can benefit. And it's like all moments, isn't it, when we talk to somebody, we're supporting, we'll think, that's such a body, we can get hold of them, and that happens a lot, doesn't it? meeting Dr. Ruth Chambers here at one of your events that led to further conversations, didn't it, where that enhanced combined healthcare's serious mental illness, the kit bags,
Absolutely.
the health bags, which, you know, these partnerships form from meeting in person, having conversations. So currently, here, aren't we, we're doing Thursdays, which again, we have to adapt and change according to needs. So at the moment, we're looking at probably older services, mental health services coming in on Thursdays, because that appears to be the need. And on a Friday, we're looking at STR, support time and recovery support for mental health. And also, I've got to remember what they're called, mental health practitioners, they've changed the name, being visible. And the feedback's been fantastic. People have had support there and then on site, you know, within the lounge space. So for me, it's how we should all be working, and hopefully it'll just carry on cascading, won't it? So thank you.
Right. Christmas Day. Okay.
I forgot to mention Christmas Day.
And so, my name's Sadie, and I think some of you have heard the name but not seen the face. The way that it goes is, I have the face for radio and the voice for a silent movie. So, as Carol has said, she wants, well, we all want community on site 365 days a year. So this year, you did want to do it last year, the year before, but we were in lockdown. We actually ran meals in the Valiant Suite this year, last year. Yeah, up at the club. And for those who couldn't get out and actually come to us, there were actually Christmas Day meals sent out, and this was a complete family meal. And I'm just trying to think how many families.
Let me just say, I'll say the bit I want to say, and then it's you, obviously. So on Christmas Eve, I got a call to say that we're 10 down on our numbers for Christmas Day. So Christmas Day was all about families and the socially isolated. We're 10 down on our numbers. I said, well, what the hell, what's going wrong? Nothing was going wrong. The Golden Valiants and the group that met on a Thursday were looking after each other so well. They'd looked after each other and they were meeting in each other's houses for Christmas Day. And that's success, because that is your community looking after itself. So, and then as my daughter said, Mother, you're making Christmas Day every Thursday. And that's what we're doing. We're making Christmas Day every Thursday. Sorry, Sophie. Yeah, sure, quick.
Okay, so everybody's getting on about Golden Valiants. So this morning we had, as Carol said, over 100 people over the age of 65 in this room, the oldest being 93. And they come from around the ST6 area. And there are far. A lot of season ticket holders, Vale supporters. If you ever hear them singing, you will completely understand that. They take the roof off. The partnership, though, is help those that attend. So some have actually been socially prescribed to some of our sessions. So the Golden Valiants does walking football, they do the bowling, we do walks on a Monday. And what we found is that some of their grandchildren are actually attending some of the summer sessions that the foundation are running at the minute on site, which while that's running, they'll come across here, for instance, and maybe like Steph's in. So I'm going to give you two quick case studies. Gentleman came in who was really panicking, needed to get to his mental health session, but bus pass ran out, needed to go and get it, had no money to go and get it. Within 40 minutes, Steph had sorted out his bus pass. All he got to do was collect it. He was able to meet his mental health. We just moved the mental health session. Today, and I mean today, we have a couple that attend. One is 83 and one is 74. And she last year had an operation on her back and she's now wheelchair bound. Processes have not been put in place to help her. Steph's just been on the phone. Things are going to start moving forward for that family. They're 83 and 74, they need that support. But because Steph was here, that could be dealt with straight away, not asking him to get on the telephone. We had a crisis with one of our members. We got numbers that we could connect with. We got partners we could get straight on who gave us the right advice at the right time to take them to the right place. Without that, the police would have been involved. It would have been a different matter altogether. but together we're supporting that person. And that's what this is about. The more people we've got involved in this partnership, the stronger that we've all become. I feel confident now that if somebody comes to me with a question, if I haven't got the answer, I've got somebody on my phone who can give us that answer. They will come along, they will speak to them. We have the nurses who are coming in and having their clients coming along and having their appointments here, aren't we? Some of the medical anxiety is through not being able to get hold of any food, struggling with budgets. We have a community cupboard. That takes some of the stress off it straight away, but it's here. We can help them there and then. You're not asking them to go away and deal with it. You're supporting them now, and that's what they need. They don't want to be told it's going to be 2-3 weeks. You dealing with people right now alleviates that pressure so much and so quickly. Sorry, I'm so passionate about it.
I have to say, you put a lump in my throat and I don't know how I'm going to follow this, really, to be honest.
I am so passionate about it because you see somebody coming in and they're at their lowest point. They've gone over that doorstep. That's the biggest part, getting people over the doorstep. You ask them come along to your doctors or you come along to your units wherever you are, there is still that stigma, there's still that anxiety. You walk into Tommy, I'm going down to football, you come into Tommy Cheadle's, you go along to pick the mental pop, there's not an issue. You could be coming in for Golden Valley. Actually, one of the nurses here for us to have a conversation with, nobody knows that. It relaxes people as soon as they get it, and that partnership has worked. We're all as mental as hatters. Honest to God, we are mad hackers. That's why it works. And we're honest. If something doesn't work, we're brutal. We will say, no, that isn't going to work for this person. We need something different. And it's for the people this is. That's why it says community togetherness. That's why it works, because we're doing it for the people, not for ourselves. That's me.
Oh, that's Steph. I feel a bit choked up saying it because I was like, whoa, I knew what I was going to say. But I'm Steph Lancaster, I'm from Adult Social Care. And for me, really, personally, I just want to say thank you. Because it's absolutely amazing that I come to work every day into the community and helping people, and that's just what I love. But without all you guys around, it couldn't happen. And we've proven, I could give you a list as long as my arm, how many case studies. I've got a gentleman next door who came in last week and didn't know what to do. Went out here sobbing because he's got 3 bags of carrier bags of food. He knew he's got food on the table and he's got gas and electric. And we did that all in about 5-10 minutes with the support from the partners. We've now got other organisations chatting with him and how are we going to move forward to help him. So we're not talking weeks, we're talking hours. And like I say, you know, I'm probably one of the biggest fans of the community-led support being together in the community, because I see from in my own eyes how much it all is coming together, how much we're helping with the people in the community in their local area. They haven't got walk miles, they come here, and like, you know, it's invested into Blurs. Eventually it's all going to be across the city, but we are in Blurt and it's running ahead of us ourselves really at the end of the day. We can't keep up with the pace because now they want us in the central team, now they want us in Hanley and everywhere else. But our main focus we started was Burslem, and what an achievement it's been. It's absolutely a great pleasure to work with Vicky and her team, to work with St John's in Burslem, the church, to work with the police, to work with the private sectors, the council. As a long employee of Stoke-on-Trent Council, even working with my own people in our organisation is absolutely amazing. But the amazing thing is we're helping and supporting the people in our community to make a difference. Just some figures we had last week from just a general thing, when somebody walks through the door and coming to get food parcels or coming to, you know, use our kitchen cupboard on a Friday, you know, it might be a bit sensitive, but how's your income? That's just one question what we can ask, because if you come in there, you're struggling, aren't you? And we can just turn it around very quickly using the NEA or our income support advice. And just a small, over a small period last year, we brought £255,000 into our part of the city, and that's just by people being on the right income. So that's just about linking us all up, being together and working together for our city, for our people in our city. and it's amazing that we're here at Port Vale. I am one of the Port Vale biggest fans, and I'm to want to so yeah, I do love Stoke City as well. That's why she's on the southwest and I'm on the north. But you know, thanks once again for coming along. Thanks brilliantly. You know, thanks so much for working together with Saltbox. There's a list as long as my arm. We're all coming together to make a difference in our community, and I think, like I say, I'm probably one of the biggest fans.
Can I just ask you to just give a big, massive round of applause to that team, because they've really this wouldn't be what it is without them. You know, they have to be flexible, they have to adapt, they have to pull, they have to knock on doors that they probably have never knocked on before to ask for help from different partners, and it's got us where we are today, so it's fabulous. And the learning we've got from Burslem is now taking us, and we're learning that and taking it into Blurton, and then the same into Bentley. So actually it is fabulous. We're going to invite Dr. Ruth Chambers and Paul, and you're just going to give a little bit about how this is taken on with regards to the health side of things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon everybody, and thank you for coming. You're probably wondering what on earth I'm doing stood here for a start. My name is Paul, and my wife Sandra and I and our General Manager Michelle are here today because we own Home Instead, and we provide care for people in their own homes. What happened us getting involved with Port Vale is that we saw an article on the ITV News about what was going on and what was happening, which you've already heard described in the lockdown with looking after their Port Vale members, the Valiants. And it struck such a chord with us because it was a very similar ethos and message that we were looking after our clients during lockdown, because a lot of older people were stuck at home, frightened to death about what the pandemic might bring. So we were providing them with encouragement and support to help them through that, the same as the Vale. So we dropped an email in, which ended up on Tom's desk, just saying, is there something we can do together? Because now that we've got Michelle, Sandra and I in a very fortunate position of being kind of semi-retired, and those people in the room that know me know that I don't do that well. I'm not an idle person, I like to be busy. So we just dropped an email in saying, is there something we can do? So we had a meeting not quite knowing what that might be, and we kind of put a few ideas together, and we launched the Thursday morning friendship club that has gone from quiet to quite bonkers, and it's great fun all the same. And we had, as you say, over 100 people in here today, and we're very fortunate to have local people. We're also very fortunate, I don't know where they've gone now, Vicky and Steph and all of the people that come and visit us to provide that guidance, support and help. And I think it's already been said, we introduce these people very much as friends. They're not kind of put on a box at the front here and come and talk to social services, because that might not be the right way to do it. So they sit at the back, they have a cup of tea, they join in, they usually end up with one of my dogs on their lap, and it's just about, if you want to chat, go and have a chat. If you don't. And we've had a number of people that it's taken 2 or 3 weeks for them to build the confidence to go and have a chat. But once they do have a chat, they get the help they need, and that's what it's all about. Which brings me into my very good friend, Dr. Ruth Chambers. Ruth and I have known each other for 5 years, and we've been collaborating together to provide tech support, particularly for older and vulnerable people across the wider North Staffordshire area. That's involved me because my background, before I was in the care sector, I worked for 25 years in British Telecom, so I was that bloke at the top of the pole and all the rest of that. So I'm very interested in technology, and Ruth and I share a passion about just bringing support and assistance to people who might not normally be able to receive it on their own. So one of the things that I've got Ruth to do is come here and have a chat. I won't steal her thunder because I know she likes to talk, don't you? A lot. So one of the things that we've done is we brought Ruth and her team into the Golden Valiants on a Thursday morning to talk about the things that you can access for yourself via your phones. We've issued an awful lot of them. How many did we do? 70 odd or so Alexa machines, you know, the ones with the screens, so that people who previously haven't had access to that type of information can talk to Alexa. And I'll give you a little clue here. My favourite thing of all to ask an Alexa. So I want you to do this when you go home. And if you've got one with a screen, it'll give you a picture, which is even better. So when you get home, say, Alexa, what noise does a hamster make? I'll leave it at that. If you've got one, find out for yourself. It's brilliant. So we've brought Alexas to people to help them be less socially isolated, to help them gain information that they might not have previously had access to. And also, I know Ruth wants to talk about some health kits that we put together. There's various different types which Ruth will describe. But again, we've brought health kits to people to help them stay healthy in their own homes. So from my point of view, being part of the Port Vale family, I hope I can call myself part of that now, is just a fantastic honour to be part of that. I hope we've brought some value to the party. I think we may have. Long may it continue. Long may we have the madness that is Thursday morning. Sandra and I usually go for a bite to eat afterwards and go,
We had all the players this morning.
And we had all the players in this morning, which was an added bonus. So it's just great. We actually have one of the players, Granny, comes and attends every Thursday, so that's fabulous too. So it's just brilliant to be involved with. I think Carol and Home Instead share a similar sort of family-driven, community passion, sort of let's give something back. It's not just about take, it's about let's put something back. If we can put a little bit back, we've won. So that's why we do what we do. I'll hand over to Ruth.
So I'm Ruth, was a retired GP from Tunstall, so I'm here. In fact, I did my first job at Royal Stoke in 1976. It was my first junior doctor job, so I've been with Stoke for a long time now.
That's when you were 12, 1970.
So as Paul was saying, we did our sort of what we call proof of concept by trying some self-care bags as well as the Alexas from money we got left over from some NHS projects I've been doing. And that was about a year ago probably. And so we were giving out, helping people stay independent and safe at home, helping them to lose weight. We are also trying to help people to look after their feet if they've got diabetes, because that's what patients have told us doesn't happen, and then they have their legs chopped off. And all of these things have got to sort of invest to save with them, in that if people could lose weight, they'd be less likely to have diabetes, or their diabetes would be better, etc. So it worked really well, and we had, for instance, just a few things here, like a solar light to go outside in the dark, the remote plugs, and most people who come here, like on a Thursday, have not got the money or the thoughts or the wherewithal to realise this might help them. And I've got a GP friend who's been in a wheelchair for about 30 years. He hasn't got one at home, and this is so much safer now than people tripping up. Even things like a magnifying glass with a light on and a mirror to look under their feet and see if they're infected, or a jar opener. That one, and the resistance bands, which Paul is showing you.
Yeah.
It started to help people who don't get out very much to do exercises at home in their chair with the resistance. And this has been terribly popular, which is a hot and cold pack which people can put in the microwave or the fridge, and it's instead of taking paracetamol around their joints. And we've got a similar one which we did for weight management, and obviously digital scales, but the kind of thing that people loved in this was the microwave egg poacher. And they would say, I haven't thought of it before, I'm having egg on toast every day now. And that's cheap for them as well. And the portion plate's gone down so well. And what we've learned, let's give you that one. I brought a few, we also were being very clever, and we wrote books to go with all of them, which are now available on Amazon. So this one's Smart with Your Weight, and recommending lots of trusted weight apps or exercises. And this one's Smart Aids to Live Well. It's got Paul as one of the co-authors with me too.
Oh, I'm a published author, you know.
And we also made up apps over the last few years, so we advertise them like a craving app. But we've been phoning up people after they've had it, And for instance, here's someone with a Stay Lively. The jar opener is useful, as previously I had to take a bottle of bleach back to the shop for them to open it for me. I'm more independent now. The remote plugs are very useful, especially with my reduced strength in my hands. I find it difficult to remove plugs. That gel pack I just showed, the kit helped with my arthritic pain. All over pain, very bad, but the heat pack has helped me with this. My blood sugars have reduced recently. I feel it's because of having the kit. I've been more proactive in managing my condition. I've lost weight, and the kit has prevented me from going to the practice possibly 2 or 3 times. I could go on because they are just ordinary comments. So what we then did was, with that proof of concept, we made the case to be part of Stoke City Council's Community Renewal Fund. And we've got various digital links to technology to help people, and that was about £500,000, which is still ongoing, the projects at the moment. And I work with Peter and others and Wavemaker. And that's meant that we had another 500 kits. So that's meant we've had the capacity to link through showing at the proof of concept here with combined healthcare. And they've used them with people with serious mental illness, many of whom are overweight. And it works so well in combined healthcare, they've just found another 20 or 25,000 to buy another 500 kits. So we've made that proof of concept. And then as far as here, we've been to Middleport Matters. We've been to North Staff's Carers, which I see has got leaflets on the tables. And we've now been to about another 15 community venues. We're going to Bentley soon, next week. And we've now started to go into general practices too, which is why I said a fond hello to Jad Boy Patty, who I can't see now. He came in for a few minutes. And so again, we've got more money from the NHS to do more kits, and we're going into practices as led by social prescribers. Now, we've not mentioned them so far, but they are not clinical, but they are now being really good links, social prescribers, across all the practices in Stoke-on-Trent and beyond, between practices and what they call primary care networks and the various community groups that you've been talking about here. So we've really just come along as an example of success, which is still ongoing, and we're just trying to get out there more by trying to get people to realise that if they can look after themselves better, then you will not need so much social care. You'll have a happier, more independent life. You won't be so likely to be admitted to hospital or need to go needlessly to see GPs. So thank you very much for including us. And just the last thing is, we also did an event at the Fit Potters Club in Stoke at the Bet 365. So we're being very widespread in our sharing.
Thank you very much.
So, I mean, we're just coming to the end now, because we did actually have some people who wanted to tell their stories, and we've videoed the majority of those, and we've had consent, so once we get all those tidied up, Steph, you'll be doing that for us, won't you? We'll get that out to everybody, and they can just listen to people's actual stories of what support they've received whilst they've been part of the community lounge. Okay. I think personally, I would just like to say thanks, because I think most people here I've seen on a screen as we've gone through that virtual world, and it's really nice to actually meet people in person finally. I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today, because it's huge that it just shows that we as partners come together to actually work to support local people, and this communities together is only going to get bigger and bigger as we move our way across Stoke-on-Trent. And as we said, we're in Burslem, we're already launched in, and we're on a trial in Blurton. We're over to Bentley next, and then we'll be just literally going bigger and bigger as we move into Stoke, Hanley.
So you're just doing these?
Do you know how, if you can ask anyone around, how hard it was, Carol, for me to get my head around the 3 Bs. So, but you know, it has been a success, it is a success, but the only reason it is a success is because we all come together to work together, and literally that reducing bureaucracy, you know, not having too many handoffs, not making people wait. People have said to us, thank you very much. You know, I've got emails, I've been on leave, and I've basically come back today and then I'm back off again. But actually, I've had emails where people have sent emails to the team to say, you know, without this approach and this partnership working, I wouldn't have been able to support the person I'm working with as quickly as I did. So I think it's just, let's just keep building this, let's just keep working together, and let's just grow the way communities together is going to be across Stoke-on-Trent, because all it's going to do is support our local people. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. This has been videoed, and we just need that. If anybody would not like for this to go out on video, could you just let me know? I assumed that everyone would be happy, but if not, then just let people know. Sadie's dying in the corner right now. But do let me know. But as I say, it just shows that the kind of, those people, we've had a lot of people couldn't make it today, and the reason they couldn't make it is because we're right in the middle of half term and Easter. So it'd just be nice for us to be able to video this today and let other people who couldn't be here today see the video. Okay. So thank you very much, and enjoy some food back there if you wish, and another brew. All right, thank you. That's not me.